Hey, welcome back toy fans. This is Scott, ToyGuru Neitlich, and this video is going to be about how toys are sold at retail specifically. So not toys sold on eBay or Amazon or Entertainment Earth, but when you're going to big box retail like this, how do toys get from a toy manufacturer all the way in, say, Pawtucket, Rhode Island, or El Segundo, California, or any of the other toy companies in between? How do they get from there to the retail store? And I'm not talking about just the logistics of the trucks and the ships. I'm talking about the science that gets them there. It's all done based on science, and more science of mathematics and how things are sold and the price points they're sold at. So let's explain a little bit about that. It all starts with the store layout. Big box stores decide their layout based on sales. Every aisle, every section, every peg is real estate that has to do a certain amount of money to justify itself. And when you're dealing with the actual aisle, it really is a place for everything and everything in its place. The next time you're at retail, at say a Target or a Walmart, take a look. Take a look at the way the retail aisle is set up. Everything is in what's called a planogram, meaning lower price points at the top, mid price points in the middle on the shelf, and bigger price points at the bottom. This is pretty universal, and it's universal for essentially all consumer products, not just toys. And what's interesting is the planogram not only keeps aisles looking neat and nice, like this, and helps you avoid situations like this, but the planogram also dictates what toys are made, because toy design is done based on the planogram, which means it's done based on price points. So let's elaborate a little bit. So here is a planogram. You can see Star Wars there, where you have the lower price points at top, going down, hitting the mid price points, and then the big items on the bottom. Everything is scientific, down to the size of the packaging. Here's one that I worked on with the DC Universe, where everything is figured out based on the dimension of the package, how many units can fit on the peg, how many pegs can fit on the wall, what needs to be called adjacent to other toys, what needs to, how you have sort of two of those smaller Infinite Heroes next to one of the larger Justice League Unlimited 3-packs, and it's all based on price points and buying habits. So at the very top, you're going to have what's called the impulse buy. This is usually a toy product, ideally $5 or under, meant as kind of, call it a shut-me-up gift if you're shopping with children, or something that's just a quick impulse buy. A great example might be a basic Hot Wheel, or this Iron Man 2 Arclight Reactor roleplay toy. It's a very simple toy. It's under $5. And the goal of this purchase might be to get a child who is shopping with you to continue shopping with you without complaining. For those of you who have kids, you know what I mean. Next up, you have your basic figure. So this is going to be something between, say, $5 and $10, and it's essentially going to be a basic character, a basic doll with basic accessories. So this will hang right below the impulse buy. Below that, you're going to commonly see the deluxe figure. So the deluxe figure could take a couple different forms. It could be something like a 2-pack or a 3-pack, where you get a character versus a villain. This works well because it's an instant story and an instant play pattern of good versus evil right out of the box. Or it might be something where you get, say, a core hero packaged with extra accessories, and that's what makes the figure deluxe. But either way, it's about that price point. Toys are made backed into price points that are dictated by this planogram. So under that, under the pegs on that first shelf, is what's commonly called the birthday gift. What I don't mean the birthday gift that you might get your own child. This is much more the birthday gift you're going to get a neighbor or a friend. When your child is invited to a birthday party and you need to go out and get something, this is actually one of the most common toy purchases, because every kid, let's say, has 10 to 20 friends, and that's why you're going to actually spend $10 to $20. So These toys tend to be priced at about that $20 price point, and they're designed for people going in to buy gifts for their neighbor and friends' birthday parties. Good examples might be a medium-range role-play item, something that, like this Nerf dart Iron Man wrist gauntlet, I guess you could call it, or, something like a figure with a mount, or a figure with a vehicle, like this Panther with Skeletor. And yes, I know this is from the 80s, but it demonstrates the same point. This would have been a $20-ish figure these days. And then at the very bottom is what would be called the under the tree gift for, whether it's Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or that big gift for your own child's birthday. This tends to be things, like playsets. Playsets are basically designed for this price point and this location at retail. And that's basically how it all works. So taking a look again at that planogram, you can see right here at the top, you have your impulse buy going down to your basic figure and deluxe figures. And you'll see this across the board for all toys. Then below that, you're going to see on that shelf about a $20 price point, and that is your friend's birthday party gift. Again, a very common toy buying moment. And then at the bottom there's your under the tree items, your more expensive toys, more expensive role play, your play sets, that type of thing. And that's really your basic planogram. Now, of course, there's other things called alt placement, meaning things like, these mid-aisle sort of displays that are seasonal, and this is kind of incremental placement is also what it's called. And a lot of times toys are designed for this as well. Or, again, an end cap is another example of incremental placement, where you might have the opportunity to be out of aisle and get additional footage, additional space to sell your toy beyond what's allocated. And, once again, you can see that planogram there in the background. Same thing that we just saw. You've got your basic and deluxe figures on pegs, you've got your birthday present gift on the shelf, and then at the very bottom on the what's called the bottom shelf toy, you have your big ticket item, your play sets, your giant vehicle, your deluxe, etc. Knowing that you're going to sell fewer of these compared to the number of basic figures. Now back to end caps. I'm not saying it's a bidding war, but it is kind of, in essence, you've got to sort of sweet talk the retailer to know why you should get an end cap, because that's incremental space, and it's usually done based on summer movies. Usually if you have a big movie, you're going to get an end cap, and that tends to be what's looked for. There has to be sort of a compelling reason for a retailer to give you an end cap. All right, switching gears, last thing I want to talk about is back to case packs and how this plays into the planogram. So you'll notice, for example, Marvel Legends, or most 6-inch figures, always ship in a case pack of 6, usually with one character doubled. And I did a whole video about that you can see in the link above. So the reason for this is because of what's called the case and a half rule. So this is designed so that on the pegs you have a full case and a half a case, with the other half case in the back for replacement. This is all done scientifically, and that's why there's 8 figures in a case, because that's how many you could basically fit 12 figures on the pegs, which is a case and a half. No more, no less. And that's why, people say, can't you just ship a case pack of 10 so you can have 2 more of that collector figure? But the answer is no. The reason it has to be a case pack of 8 is because everything is designed to fit perfectly on shelf with that case and a half rule. So then you have that half a case in the back for replenishment. Because as I said, pegs are real estate. Every square inch of a big box store is designed to do a certain amount of business based on that square footage, based on that peg, based on that shelf space. So all of the master cartons that toys ship in are all designed based on this real estate model. So the master carton has to have a certain amount of units that will fit that case and a half rule on shelf with the half case in the back, and that way everything trickles down. So it's not random. When there's a whole science and there are whole departments just doing case packs, and then it's usually up to the marketing manager to figure out the division of units, i.e. which characters get either double or triple or just single per case pack based on what's going to sell. And the idea is any figure that's double tends to be the figure that's going to be most recognizable for moms and parents, moms, dads, grandparents, because you want Spider-Man and Batman hanging around on the pegs, not, obscure character number 12B who no one recognizes. And, of course, this also goes back to the whole argument about female action figures, how action figures tend to be a boy play pattern, and this is why you sometimes see females backing up at retail, because they don't sell fast enough. I've used this example in other videos of Shuri in Black Panther. She's packaged 1 per case, and here you see 4 of them, which means they went through 4 master cartons and sold out completely, but only have her left. And that tends to be why collector figures are not doubled up, because if they were doubled, they would have 8 of them now, instead of just 4 sitting on shelf. So, just one example. But it all comes back to science, and this is how toy lines not just are sold, but they're designed based on these anticipated price points and placements. So you're basically going to design your toy line to sell to kids and moms first, and you're going to design the toys based on the price points of the planogram. Your impulse buy, your figure, your deluxe figure, your birthday gift for friend or neighbor, and then your under the tree gift. You're going to see this pretty universal. You'll sort of never look at the toy aisle the same again, and you'll realize this back ends all the way to the design phase. So that's a little bit about how toy planning works and how toys are sold. If you like this video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up. Let me know other things you'd like to see me talk about in the comments about the toy industry, and I'll see you guys around the internet.